All right. Good morning, guys. Today is Friday, June 6th, and let's see what we have. Price is all right, so price is near today's pre-market high, 725.8, 735.8. So I think we're going to touch today's pre-market high. So I'll put an alert there. We also have a 4-hour bearish order block there, so this looks like a good trade. And let's see. Okay. Um, I'm about to take the pre-market high. So we almost came to that 10 point. Okay, so I'm in the sell right here with the 10 point. And then waiting for the 5-second entry. So waiting for the 5-second entry. So keep in mind, today we had NFP earlier on in the day. So let's see how this will go. So I'm waiting for the 5-second entry as well. If you see the red X, I'll be entering the 5-second entry. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so the 10-point entry got stopped out. So waiting for the 5-second entry. So this is for the pre-market high. So the pre-market entries have been so this week. So the 5-second, which is our official entry, we're still waiting for that. Oh, give me a second. We have a weekly, okay, so I'm taking a 10-point entry here for the weekly buy, 798, 808. Let's see, I don't know. This is SAR, so I'm taking a sell here. So I'm in a sell. We're still waiting for the 5-second entry, which is gonna happen somewhere here. Here it is. There. So I'm in the 5-second entry here. So we have a weekly SAR rejection. So this 5-second entry lines up with the 5-second entry for the pre-market high. So I'm in these two trades right here, the 10 point and then the 5-second. And there we go. Full TP on the 10 point, I think. Yeah, I got in, I think, at a better position. So full TP, it should hit either way. There we go. So full TP on the 5-second entry for the pre-market high, which also lined up with the weekly rejection, SAR rejection here. This is 97. It was a bit too close to this order block, but anyway, full TP for those trades. And I think I trailed my stop loss, so this is amazing. Now make sure it closed out on my accounts, on my copied accounts. Perfect. Even on my some of the challenges I took as well. That's a nice win right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All the accounts are looking good. Okay. I really didn't want to do too much today. Also, today's session will be a bit short. I have to drop off before 10. But yeah, so nice winning trades there. So again, today up 0.75% for the day. So this week we've been on fire with the trades. So this week alone, 4.5% gain. Uh, this week alone, a 4.5% gain. So if you're taking a challenge with me, taking every trade I took, and this all of these trades were during the live session. So if you were taking a trade or taking all these trades with me during the 5-second entry trades, the 10-point entry trades, I was, last month I said that I might just keep doing the 10-point entry trades, but I'll keep doing both because I keep I'm able to maximize the profit. So there are days that the 10, like this week, the 10-point entries have not been as good. Like this one, and we almost missed that weekly one right here. But this week, the 10-point entries have been so and so. So, like, there's a challenge I started with E8 on Monday, and today, like with this win I just took right here. So, for the pre-market entries, I'm not yet copying them to my official accounts or to my challenges. I'm only copying the EMA and SAR rejection entries. But anyway, so like for example, E8 challenge that I began at 200K that I began on Monday. Um, and I can, let me see. I don't think we have anything else here, but let me show you guys this. Okay. So if I take this, all right, let me share this. Significant. So, for example, this is an E8 challenge I started taking um this Monday. So you can, if you guys remember, like Monday we had I had three back-to-back losses, right? But I haven't started taking the pre-market entries on any of my challenges or live accounts. On Tuesday, had good wins, like 4K win. Wednesday had like a 2K loss. Yesterday had like almost 3K profit. And this is just the trade I copied right now, for the weekly SAR rejection. So this is like a E8 account. And this is for this one, I'm doing the 1:2. I'm doing the 10-point entry. So it's like if I lose one trade and I win the next, I still come back up in profit. But for you guys as well, depending on what trades you want to take, they're like the last 2 months, the 10-point entry, the last 2 months, the 10-point entry has been on fire. The accounts that I took with the 10-point entry, like majority of it, that's the one that was giving me like 20K a week only on one account. For this week, like if you guys remember me showing you my trading journal yesterday, Um, for this week, the 5 second entry account has 13,000 in profit. The 10 point entry, and we can look over that. Actually, we can update it. Actually, let's do that because again, the market is a bit slow. Unless we might form a 15-minute SAR rejection here. If we do form it, then I will be looking to take that entry. But we don't have any EMA entries. Prices above all these EMAs. So definitely no EMA entries unless price retraces down. So the only other entry I do see us getting is possibly if we do print a 15-minute buy, and then we can take the rejection entry for that. But right now, there's really no entry to take. So let's just look at those statistics for the 5 second and also for the 5 second entry and for the 10 point entry. Let's see. Give me a moment here. Um, Then this other one, statement. All right. All right, so I just imported, and again, let me just make sure. So unless we get a 15-minute SAR rejection entry here or any other SAR rejection, there really isn't much to look at here. So anyway, so you can see this week, this is my 5 second entry account. Um, this week, pretty much a win every day. So pretty much every day win. Actually, every day has been a win. 16 trades, 14,700. And let's just let me take a screen grab of this so that I update a screenshot. 42,790. The entry was here. This is um this was a SAR rejection scalp. Let's take this. So this entry lined up, this 5 second entry lined up with the 5 second entry for the pre-market high of the day. So here today we update this. This was SAR rejection scalp. It was based off of weekly. So that was another reason that trade was good. Like weekly levels, you rarely come by them. So once you see those high time frame levels, whether it's an EMA or 42, 828.71. Wait, I thought, give me a second here. Oh, it's supposed to be here, 42. Sometimes I have to do this manually because I normally trail my stop loss, so Edgewonk doesn't really catch that. But anyway, so you can see this week, as much as I started the week, so remember, on Friday there were three back-to-back losses. There was one loss that was duplicated. It was duplicated by my broker, so I reached out to them and they took it out and they gave me back that loss. Just that amount of money. But if you guys remember, on Monday there was a bunch of slippage and one of my positions was actually executed twice. But anyway, technically started the week, or I started the week with like three back-to-back losses. But then later on during that day, I was able to recover them with some trades. So normally when I do three back-to-back losses at any given day, I stop trading. So that day I only kept trading because the broker refunded me that money because it wasn't supposed to be a duplicated trade. So, but you can see like throughout this week, 14,700. This is that 5 second entry that you saw we took here, right? So the 10-point entry is here. The 5 second entry was right here. The 5 second entry is the one where after confirmation, we wait for a change of structure on the 5 second and enter when there's a crossover buy or crossover sell. And then for the 10-point account, so look at the difference. The 10-point account, again, even the 10-point account as well, three back-to-back losses. So the duplicated trade, I think the duplicated trade was only on the 5 second account. But on the 10-point account, I did have three back-to-back losses without the duplicated trade because the duplicated trade only came up when I was trading the 5 second entry account. But you can see on Monday, when I hit the three back-to-back losses, on the 10-point entry account, I didn't trade anymore. So that's why, like, I'm not just picking one strategy or one entry model. I'm taking both because sometimes one will do better than the other given the day. So you can see, like, on Monday, I started off with a $6,000 loss. But, Tuesday, had wins, Wednesday wins, Thursday wins, and today wins. So most of the days today with the 10-point, it's like I start off with a loss and then I make it back with, another win. But you can see this week, 3,900 on the 10-point account. But if we go back to the month of June, you can see the 10-point account had like $14,000, $15,000, $6,000. But if we go to the 5 second account, we go back to June as well. It only had like 116, $17,000 week, but the other weeks were like 4,000, 4,000, etc. So some weeks you'll have the 10-point performing better. Some weeks you'll have the 5 second performing better. So anyway, so this one was the pre-market rejection scalp. Entry was 15. This one that I lost was pre-market high. And then, of course, the other one, which we won with, was the SAR rejection scalp. It was a weekly level. I really don't do screenshots for the 10-point one. So 42, 838.71. Okay. So going back to analyze the pre-market high, the one that just lost here. So this one was actually a good trade. I think it's NFP. Also, it's the end of the week. But this pre-market high that the 10-point account lost, we literally had a 4-hour bearish order block there. We were in a supply zone up there. So I think this is just like an NFP move, and also it's end of the week. Now, one thing to consider or to keep in mind is that normally, not every time, but normally, price goes back to the pre-NFP price. So if we get, or if you get good confluences, it is possible that price either today or Monday, and especially if we get a 15-minute SAR rejection, it is possible that price will drop back down 500 points, like either today or Monday. So remember, normally what you want to keep in mind for rejection, especially if you want to ride a long rejection pattern, watch out for the 15-minute SAR levels um, that come up after market open. So right now we haven't had any. So the only way we can have any right now is if we keep pushing up. If we have a strong push up, we are likely to form a 15-minute SAR rejection. And that one might be the catalyst to bring price all the way back down. But again, not every time, but more times than not during NFP, price normally corrects back to pre-NFP levels. So this might be one of those days that it does. It might also be one of those days that it doesn't. But if we get like a 15-minute SAR rejection and you want to test it out, maybe you can have like a 50-point stop loss or even a 100-point stop loss, because this would be like a 1:5 move, because we would anticipate price to drop back 500 points. So you can even have a 100-point stop loss, 500-point TP, and have like a 1:5 risk to reward. So it's just something to keep in mind if we do get that. Again, I have to drop off in like 6 or 7 minutes because I have another commitment at 10. But let's see if we do get that. I was hoping to even get a EMA rejection scalp, but I don't see any so far. 39. Eh, Yeah, so I was hoping to even get an EMA rejection scalp, but I don't see any so far. See. Let's see, give me a moment. And also there was an NFP, what was it? NFP SAR rejection based off of I forget what it was based off of. There was an NFP SAR rejection based on um it was based off of an hourly, let's see, 4 hour buy. So this entry here, I wanted to take the NFP SAR rejection, but normally I don't like trading before New York. So I think what I'll do, I'll just designate one of my accounts to be taking NFP trades, just to trade like once a month or something like that, and maybe go higher risk on it, maybe risk 2% on it. But for this NFP one, we had a rejection at this 4 hour buy, and I was watching this live, but rejection at the 4 hour buy. And both the 10 point and 5 second entries would have won. Now, something I really want to consider going forward is that also during that NFP, we had this 30-minute established, this 30-minute SAR level established. It was also in a supply zone. So I'm trying to see if I can figure out a threshold for taking NFP entries. So I think a good threshold is during the first 1 minute or 2 minutes, wait for price to go at least 100 points and then look for the next rejection level. So I think having like 100-point threshold and then looking for the next level, because for today, this 30-minute SAR printed like 30 points after NFP, after the start of the NFP candle. So any entry that would have been taken here would have lost, especially the 10-point entry. Because, and we can see, actually, we can look back here and I can show you guys what I was looking at. So this was the NFP candle, right? So actually the sell, the 10-point entry, so you can see where the rejection happened exactly. So 42,616, I think it was 616.4, 42,226.4. So the sell entry, actually the 10-point entry for the NFP sell was at here, 26.4, like literally at the height of that candle. So this one was the NFP trade, the 10-point entry, and the 5-second entry again. 5-second entry, definitely a bit more safer, especially during periods of volatility. But the 5-second entry as well would have hit TP. So these were the NFP trades for today. So yeah, I think what I'll do, I will just dedicate another one of my accounts to just be taking NFP trades. Again, it's not gonna win every time. But I've noticed this last month, NFP would have won because I remember I even set a timer for this month or a reminder. Last month NFP won. I think the previous month it may have lost, and the previous month it won. But definitely last month it won. This month would have won as well. So I think having like a 10 point, 100-point threshold at the beginning of the NFP candle, and then taking whatever rejection level you see after that. I think that's a bit safer because today the 30-minute 10-point entry would have gotten stopped out, but the 5-second here validated both the validated both no 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 the 5-second entry for NFP today would have validated both the 30-minute buy and the 4-hour buy SAR rejection levels. It's just that it would have validated all the way up here. So a bit definitely more safer. But again, if you would have taken the loss on the 10 point with the 30-minute buy and then taken the win at the 4-hour SAR rejection, you would have been back in profit because you'd have gone for a 1:2. So you'd have recovered your 30-minute SAR rejection loss and then had a bunch, had like 1% more above that if you're risking 1% per trade, like me. But anyway, other than that, that will be it. Unfortunately, today's session has to be a bit shorter. And let me just do one more thing here. Um, before I drop off. Let's see. Okay. Um, so here, if we go to today's results, you can see this is the 10-point account. No, I'm sorry, this is the 5-second account, 1600 profit. And then the 10-point account, 2600 profit for the day. But anyway, other than that, I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing weekend. Be safe out there. All right, guys.